Hello students, my name is Ratnam and I welcome you to the third video on textual grammar. In the video 1 and 2, we have discussed, in the first video I have discussed with you the lesson, and in the second video vocabulary, and in this video I am going to discuss grammar. Read the following sentences from the story. We found we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things. In the above two sentences, the first one is in the simple past tense, found, had. The highlighted one, highlighted verb. And the second sentence is in the past perfect tense, had removed. As you can see, the action which occurred earlier is expressed in the past perfect tense, whereas the action which occurred later is expressed in simple past tense. Okay, let's look at it closely. We found we had little to carry. This total sentence is in a simple past tense. Some thief had removed most of my things is in a past perfect. Of these two actions, this sentence, the thief had removed most of my things, is in a past perfect, because this happened earlier than this action. We found we had. They were able only to find, they were able to find only after some thief had removed. Here removed means stolen. After some thief had stolen most of his things, they found. So from this easily we can understand that some thief, okay, past perfect is used to talk about the actions which happened earlier than other action. Here are a few more examples. Let us see. Sujata arrived at the station before the train came. See, Sujata had arrived is first action, earlier action, then this action in the second clause, main clause. So this sentence also shows the past perfect is used to talk about actions that happened earlier. Another sentence. The doctor arrived after the patient had died. See, of these two sentences, which had happened earlier, which action happened earlier, patient dying happened earlier. See, that's why it is in a past perfect. When now we see a sentence is past perfect, we have to understand that this happened earlier than another past action. See, the doctor arrived after the patient had died. So the doctor arriving is the first action. No, sorry, this is the second action. I bought the ticket as soon as I boarded the bus. And here, both the sentences, both the actions are in a simple past tense. Bought, and in the second sentence, second part of the sentence, boarded. Both are in a simple past tenses. They are in simple past tenses because two actions, these two actions happen simultaneously. That's why these two actions are in simple past tense. So when actions occur simultaneously, almost at the same time, when two things happen at the same time, okay, no need of using past perfect tense. We use, okay, two simple past tenses. So this must be kept in mind. Okay, just to explain a bit more, I bought the ticket as soon as I boarded the bus. Here, they happen almost at the same time. There is no time gap between buying the ticket and boarding the bus. Okay, right. Now, combine the following pairs of sentences using the past perfect and the simple past tense. You may use after, before, or when as linkers. The first one has been done for you. I brushed my teeth. I took my breakfast. Okay, first action should be in the past perfect tense as per our discussion so far. Right. Which do you think is the first of the actions in this one? Brushing or taking breakfast? Okay. Naturally, brushing is the earlier action. So that must be in the past perfect tense. Okay. After I had brushed my teeth, I took my breakfast. Okay. This same sentence can be said in this way as well. I had brushed my teeth before I took my breakfast. Same meaning, but a different linker is used. In the first sentence, after is used, and in the second sentence, before is used. Okay, but earlier action, okay, however whatever the linker that we have used, the first action is said in the past perfect tense. In the second sentence, this is the one. Okay. Second sentence. She started to go to market. It rained heavily. Now you are expected to combine these two sentences using past perfect and simple past. Okay, these two sentences are in simple past tenses. Okay, now you have to determine which of the two actions is happened first. She started going to market happened first, or it rained heavily. Okay, naturally, okay, if it had rained before she went to market, she cannot go to market actually. Okay, so she started going to market. It rained heavily. It had rained heavily. It had rained when she started going to market. If this action finished, it rained heavily. Okay, she need not say anything about it. Simply, she went to market. But the two things happened here. It had rained heavily happened first. It had rained heavily happened first when she started going to market. Next, the third sentence. He completed his homework, he went to bed. Okay, which will happen naturally? Completing homework happens first. Completing homework happens first, so it has to be said in the past perfect tense. He had completed his homework before he went to bed. Next, I finished my dinner. My father came. Okay, this is a bit confusing. Bit confusing, but still, if you think it's not very difficult. Okay, which of the actions happened earlier? Finishing dinner, father coming. Okay, this finishing dinner happened first. Then after that his father came. So after I had finished my dinner, my father came. So this first part is in past perfect tense. Right. I fell seriously ill. I met my family doctor. Okay. Naturally, falling seriously ill is the first thing. I met my family doctor. Because he fell seriously ill, he met his family doctor. So this I fell seriously ill is the first action, and that must be said in the past perfect tense. Okay, the position of a past perfect tense is either at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. Okay, so I met my family doctor is the simple past tense. After I had fallen seriously ill is the past perfect tense. Okay, you should not be mistaken because this past perfect occurred at the end of the sentence in object position should not be understood. This is the last action. No, this is the first action because it's in a past perfect tense. Right. Sixth sentence. I locked the door. I went out to meet my friend at a restaurant. Okay, locked the door, locking the door and going to meet friend. Okay, there is a no time, not much time gap between these two actions, locking the door and going out to meet the friend. So these two sentences can be said in simple past tenses. After I locked the door, I went out to meet my friend at a restaurant. Okay, very good. I hope you understood. And we will move on with the second point under grammar, that is phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are very, very important in enhancing your speaking or writing. Okay, let's look at the following phrasal verbs and their meanings. Take out. See, phrasal verb. Verb is combined with either a preposition or an adverb. So this is the combination. Okay, anyway, in the following discussion, we have that. Take out. Take is the verb, out is the preposition. To remove something from inside. Set up. To arrange for something to happen or to start. Take off. To remove. Lie down. To take rest. Take time off. To take some time for something. Look into. To observe keenly. And just to remind you, these are the phrasal verbs that occurred in the snake in the mirror. And look at, to have a look at something. Get up, to wake up. Change into, to turn into. Leave behind, to leave something as a token of memory or a gift. As you can see, a phrasal verb is a unit of a verb, is a unit of verb. It's not unit of verb and a one or more particle or a preposition. Preposition. It cannot be understood on the basis of the meaning of the individual parts in isolation, but rather it must be taken as a whole. See, for example, look, to see, yet, at a certain point. Now, if you take independently, the meaning will be very different, and that's what the instruction says. It should not be taken independently. It should be taken as a whole. Must be taken as a whole, right? Use the above phrasal verbs in the blanks. Make necessary changes in the verb forms. Okay, if you understood the meanings of the above phrasal verbs, it's very easy to complete this exercise with the phrasal verbs. Venkat Rao was a rich man. He wanted to blank some business in the town. Okay, of this, see, Venkat Rao was a rich man. He wanted to dash some business in the town. Of the phrasal verbs, which one do you think will be suitable? Okay, naturally this one, set up, to start. So he dash a lot of money from the bank. Of these meanings, of these phrasal verbs, which one will be suitable? Okay, none of these except this phrasal verb, take out. Okay, now we have to change the tense because this is about a past incident. The passage talks about a past incident, so we have to say in a past tense. So he took out a lot of money from the bank. And in the first blank, set up. On an auspicious day, he started his medical business, which prospered by leaps and bounds. He became so busy that he could not take time off. This was a blank for any rest. He used to, okay, of the phrasal verbs that were mentioned there, The one that suits here is used to get up very early in the morning and go to his office. In the afternoon, he would take off his shirt, and lie down on his couch. On couch in the office. After a nap, he would put on his shirt. Then he would look into the mirror. Look into the mirror and look at himself admiringly. Anyhow, he left behind some fame in the town. Even when he went abroad, everybody believed that he changed into a new man. Okay, that is the end of grammar. Next, academic standard writing. Write a descriptive essay on any unusual or humorous incident you might have witnessed or experienced. I want to add, which you might have read even. But it should be written by you. Few things that should be kept in mind when you attempt writing this descriptive essay. Okay, this is a major discourse in a examination for 10 marks. So it must be written with the utmost care. Title. Title or heading. It must be related to the topic that you are going to write. It must be in a phrase form. Introduction. The second point that you should keep in mind is the introduction. Without introduction, you cannot write an essay. In the introduction, you will introduce the topics briefly. You mention 3 or 4 points which you want to elaborate in the following paragraphs. Okay, and fourth point that you have to keep in mind, providing the main ideas, details in the first paragraph. Okay, first idea you have mentioned in the introduction must be elaborated in the second paragraph. Providing supporting ideas, details. When you state something, you have to provide supporting ideas to strengthen your statement. Sequencing of ideas. It's very, very important. Otherwise, it does not make any sense if there is no sequencing of ideas. And the most important thing is giving appropriate conclusion. Without conclusion, the reader might be under impression that this is incomplete. So it must be indicated that the write-up is finished. Okay, keep in mind the size must be corresponding to the 10 marks question. Many students just write few lines and think that okay, that is enough, but it's not enough. It must be sufficiently elaborated. Okay, A4 sheet is 2 sides, and it should be written in paragraphs. Okay, that's the end of discussion on writing, first point. Next, preparation of a poster. Okay, this is a major discourse in paper 2, and preparation of a few things. Okay, this poster which is given here is a very good example of how to make a poster. Look at the poster given below. See, in this poster, let's study this poster. This first part, name of the organization and address. What is highlighted? Next, this is the purpose of the poster, announcement of Rajababu Prize. And this point is the theme. Okay. Next point. These are okay. This picture. This picture is a relevant picture, which is very essential for poster making. Next, okay, the poster is intended. The target audience. This highlighted part shows that this poster is meant for print media journalists. And other details such like this essay writing or write up on in which languages? Okay, Telugu, Urdu, English. And each award carries 5,000 rupees. And this side on the right side, in a smaller font, contact details, and address, and contact details, and the person who issued this poster. Okay, let's go back and consider a few things here. So for poster making, what is important is the name of the organization, who is issuing the poster. This must be highlighted, and the font size must be varied. The font size is not the same. It is different. The font size of this line is different from the font size of this line, and yet the font size is different from this font size. Okay, this is a relevant picture. So that must be kept in mind when we make poster. Another thing, the arrangement or a layout. See, for example, the name of the organization is not written somewhere in the middle. It is written on top. That means the name of the organization should always come on top. And the purpose also should be first mentioned. The purpose of a poster making. Why you are making poster? The announcement of Rajababu Prize. Okay, the theme of the poster, the main idea of the poster, and the target audience, and the cash prize. Okay, few questions here will allow you to understand further. Now reflect on the following questions. What are the elements of an effective poster? Color, size, layout, font size, language, etc. Actually, okay, when it comes to language, this is a single piece actually. This is a single piece. From first to last, it's one single piece, single unit. Hyderabad Nampalli, Hyderabad Laughing Club, Nampalli, Hyderabad announces the Rajababu Prize for the best write-up on the role of comedy in human life. The award annually honors one print media journalist in each of the following three categories: best write-up in Telugu, Urdu, English. Each award carries 5,000 rupees. For further information and submission of published entries, contact President, Hyderabad Laughing Club. Okay, Public Gardens, Nampalli, Hyderabad. Okay, see, this is a single, but it is arranged in a way, in a very creative and interesting way, so that it looks like a poster. Who issued the poster? Hyderabad Laughing Club issued the poster. What is the purpose of the poster? Announcement of Rajababu Prize is the purpose of the poster. When, what is the deadline? July. July 17th is the deadline. Here it is just not highlighted properly. One, just right. July 27th is the deadline. What are the other details highlighted? Cash price. Cash price. And who are the people to whom it is okay, targeted, meant for? What should be highlighted in the poster? Cash price, because that should attract everybody. Who are the target audience of the poster? Print media journalists. Now prepare a poster using the following, using the information given below by arranging it in a proper sequence. Okay, yes, like in the same way in the poster above, using these details, a poster must be made. Okay, right. Coming to study skills. Here is a short narration. Read it carefully and make a list of important points, especially with regard to what are facts and what are superstitions. So suggest a suitable title for it. The young doctor married an intelligent and a kind girl. He told her the episode of the snake and the mirror. She laughed heartily. He went on talking about cobras and some funny facts related to them. He said to her, cobras are the most poisonous, active, and dangerous snakes. But surprisingly, most Hindus worship them. It is funny to know that some women drop eggs and pour milk into the ant hills where cobras usually reside. What are the important points in this list, in this first paragraph?